Hey, what is up, everybody? It is time for our newest, most exciting segment ever.
Really excited about this one.
I didn't think of a name for it.
Well, we'll think about if we get to a second part, which I think we should.
Yeah.
If this goes well, we'll think of a good name.
I'm going to call it Tech Yeah Movie Games. Tech Yeah Games Movies.
Wow, I don't think that's a good one.
Tech Yeah Games Movies.
If you guys watch this, let us know what you think, because I want to know, you probably have better ideas than we do.
You probably don't know what we're talking about yet, but what we are going to do is reviews and our thoughts.
Yeah, more like very not informal reviews. More
on
just
games, on movies, based on games.
So you know how movies based on games have a bad reputation, and rightfully so.
Yeah, that earned.
Totally earned.
So far, it's very earned.
Yeah, there's a few, here and there we could talk about. Maybe we'll get to at some point. But for now, we chose a doozy. One of the probably the most recent one, or certainly one of them.
One of the worst movies I've ever seen.
It is up there.
We watched the Warcraft movie.
And it's just called Warcraft.
From 2016.
So 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I'm going to teach you guys a trick if you want to see this movie.
Don't.
If you Google Drive anything, you will find a playable version of it in the Google Drive.
You know that Google owns YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's okay. They're not going to watch this. No one's going to watch this. It's fine. If this gets banned, then...
That's only going to drive up our rates.
Yeah, thanks.
So what did you think of the movie? First of all, we should mention you play a lot of WoW, correct?
Played a lot of WoW. Played a lot of Warcraft 3.
So you know the lore.
Quite a bit of Warcraft 2. This is pre-WoW. The lore.
No, I know, but yeah. That's kind of what I wanted to get into. Just for the record, played very little. My old roommate was really in WoW, so I know some of the lore, but I went in with sort of fresh eyes. You, on the other hand, had more experience and I assume more expectation.
I mean, I knew it was bad, so my expectations were pretty low. I will say that the story in this movie is kind of Warcraft 2-ish, I would say. Maybe Warcraft 1. I'm not that familiar with Warcraft 1.
When the orcs are trying to invade. From what I understand, Warcraft 1 doesn't have any established lore.
No, I don't think so either.
He made it up the day of.
So I think it's Warcraft 2.
Yeah.
The orc world is destroyed or being destroyed.
By the Fel.
Which
is green is bad and blue is good. That's what I learned from the movie.
So the orcs need to come through the gate into Azeroth.
And the gate is, correct me if I'm wrong, the login screen for World of Warcraft.
I recognize that. Login screen for World of Warcraft.
So that was fun.
Yeah, because that's how we get to
Azeroth.
From Azeroth to the, what do they call it? The Blasted Lands?
I don't know.
It's, the expansion is all set there. But so this movie made no sense.
Yeah, it was pretty remarkable.
I was shocked how long into the movie, me knowing Warcraft, knowing generally who these characters are.
Yeah.
I was an hour in. I'm just like, what is going on?
I think part of that was the editing was so bad.
Really bad. You never know where you are.
Yeah, it was almost like there was an hour cut out of the movie, which thank God if they did cut out an hour, I appreciate it.
That's the best part of the editing. Is cutting out more of this movie.
No sense. From scene to scene, you'd be like, what? Whenever the orcs were fighting, the scene where the orcs wake up and they're covered in rocks. Mm-hmm. So they were hiding there under rocks?
They're hiding in the rocks, yeah.
Why?
Because sometimes you got to hide in the rocks.
I've never had to do that, but I'm not an orc.
I mean, maybe it's a move because they're like the Black Rock clan. Black Rock orcs.
Yeah.
Right? Because
yeah.
Durotar's the Frost Wolf.
Yeah, the Frost
Wolf.
I
think they're the Black Rock. So maybe hiding in Black Rocks is
that's how they got their name.
It was funny because they're meet me at the Black Rock. And I'm like, isn't that the bad guy clan? Right?
That's where they live.
Okay, and the half orc girl, was she half human?
I guess, but holy shit, I felt bad for that actress.
Yeah, that's
because she did her best. That the costume was the worst thing I've ever seen. Her dialogue was horrible. I think actually a lot of the actors gave their best.
Yeah, I think so too.
But holy shit, what a script!
I think the actors actually did pretty well
with what they had.
I mean, I feel like the actor that played Khadgar, the young mage,
he had some fun.
But I also feel like his character was so bad.
Yeah,
I mean, all their characters are bad, but his character was hard to watch at times. You're just is he confused? What?
I certainly was confused.
I was very confused for the whole film. It was hard to follow.
Yeah,
it was.
It had a stupid ending.
Had a very
So was that supposed to be Hellscream? Is that the idea that the kid at the end is Garish Hellscream or whatever his name is?
No, because his name is something silly, right?
I know, but I assume they must have been trying to tie it in the lore somehow. I thought Jaina Proudmoore was going to show up or some shit.
Well, no,
but I don't know the lore
this
that
is kind of pre
But I know, but they could have like name dropped someone. Were there any connections?
Medivh is.
I don't even know who that is.
I mean, even Khadgar is like a big character in World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
The mage, right? Because he's the new guardian, right?
Right.
Karazhan's a big place, and WoW. Even like the king is.
Yeah.
And the king was like looked very puny. Like he's supposed to. Like, you picture these heroes of Stormwind as these like kind of big, strong, like football player built characters, and in this movie they were all cast as these very like theater types, right? Like these very thin, kind of wispy.
I think that actually gets to the heart of part of what was so. One of the many things that was so awful about the movie is the fact that like the armor and the shields and the swords all looked like they were from WoW, which is cool. They did actually a good job, I think, of like the armor looked exactly like the armor. The problem was it was built just like the armor, so it was huge and like almost like Warhammer 40K or like the Marines in StarCraft. Like they're not human size; they're huge. The orcs looked right. What I kept thinking in my head was the script's bad, all this stuff's bad, but how much better would the movie have been if it was just animated, like straight up animated?
Straight up animated.
I think that would have made a huge difference. But the fact they went with real actors and they had to do so much work to like make it never looks right. It always looks super cartoony and weird. And like if they had just made the whole movie animated, like the orcs looked fine. They looked pretty cool. ILM did a good job. But if the whole movie had just been CGI, at least it still would have been a bad script. But at least it would have been like watchable.
Or if it was starring The Rock and Vin Diesel.
Yeah, or if they'd really leaned into that.
Right, just everyone's just like monster
Vin
people.
Diesel's the Gollum.
Yeah, everyone's just monster dudes, right? They're just like yoked. You know, they're just like swinging
like
warhammers.
Insanely yoked.
Swinging warhammers all over the place. These people looked...
They looked like actors that they like.
Everyone looked like an actor.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what made it really hard to...
Oh, it was bad. And some of the dialogue, like when he said... My favorite, I think, was when he's talking to the orc lady and he goes, "I've never been in as much pain as I am right now.
This is a gift."
That's what he said.
Yeah.
"I've never been in as much pain as I am right now."
And they start talking about love.
And then, did they fall in love?
No, and like...
And she's like kissing his neck and he's like...
Like, when did she fall in love with that dude?
And why does the one woman who's supposed to be like cool, tough, like just has to fall in love with this guy?
But none of it makes sense. Like,
no.
Like, I'm like, when did they fall in love? They seem to hate each other. Not like cute hate each other.
No, not
they weren't like, oh, I hate.
Yeah, they were like,
such an ass. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, fuck you, orc woman, and she's just like, you know,
she's like, nah, fuck you.
She's like, I need to join my tribe, right? And then a scene later, she's just like,
I guess I'm a human now.
I'm a human now. I'm in human armor.
And I'm gonna die for the king.
Yeah, I'm gonna kiss your neck. And it's like, what in the world are we talking about? Like, this makes no sense. No sense at all.
But there were two things I liked about it. One, I really liked when they were walking across the bridge and the Murloc went. That was so cheesy and lame.
But it was Murloc noises. Where I was just like, where did these come from?
But that made me laugh because if you played Hearthstone, you've heard that goddamn noise so many times. That was funny. And then the one thing I genuinely liked was how they played with language a little bit. Like sometimes when the orcs were talking, it would be in English if it was focused on the orc, and then they would go over to a human and the orc would be speaking Orcish. But then you'd hear English or whatever the common tongue is. When the orc is hearing it, it's gibberish. Mm-hmm. So they did some cool stuff with like
that
going in between languages, which I've actually never. I don't know if I've ever seen it done that well before, and I actually really enjoyed that.
That double cross scene where
they're going back and forth. Where he's like, I'm trying to escape. Yeah. That was interesting.
That shift was very apparent and cool. Like I did think that was cool.
I don't know if I'd ever seen that before.
I thought that was actually really good, and good how it kind of transition back and forth, right?
Yeah.
I think I've seen them shift like out of foreign language before, but never like kind of play with it back and forth, which I thought was really neat.
Yeah, it was a cool way to kind of put you in there because they hear it as the language they understand, so that was cool.
Yeah, so I'll give them credit for that.
That was the one. I'd say that was the one thing, and some of the orcs look cool.
Some of them, but by the end, I mean,
it was just nonsense.
What really disturbed me too is like by the end of the movie, because the orcs get corrupted by the Fel, right?
Right. Green is bad.
Green is bad, and but they all end up looking like the leprechaun, right? Like they all have this kind of bulbous, like costume mask face.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
And they're CGI, so they don't need a costume mask face.
They don't need that, right? Like, it's like, why do they look like this?
Yeah.
They look like they're in bad masks.
And then the elves, Like
Yeah.
I know who are not a big part of the movie, but you see them briefly. And
Even
I
the
was just
dwarves
like,
look so bad.
actually, the other dwarves looked okay. They looked like Warcraft dwarves.
I don't think they look.
They
good.
looked like the dwarf from the beginning of the first cinematic from WoW.
No.
They're like short and wide.
He's animated so much better than that dwarf was. Like when they walked around, it just felt so awkward. To
Yeah,
me.
it was bad animation. I guess I mean the design of the dwarves to me felt pretty true to Warcraft from what little I know about it.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say before we wrap up? It was the worst part of the movie.
I mean, there was a lot of really bad parts in the movie.
Yeah, there was. Like the part with the stupid barrier on his son.
Yeah,
And he's like trying to.
That's
reach
what I was
through.
That was actually what I was gonna say. But
And what
I
does
think
he say? He says something. He says, "Oh, he says for Azeroth."
Caleb, and he's like,
He's like, "What? The fuck do you want?"
yeah.
And then he goes, "For Azeroth."
Yeah. His son is so cute. Like,
Yeah.
like what a cute man. I think I think his name was Lothar.
Yeah.
I think his scenes were really bad. I think the worst one was when the end of the movie, spoiler alert,
Yeah.
he slides under Black Hand and cuts him in the dick and kills him.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah,
lame as fuck for some reason. Like
was
it should be
so
cool.
lame.
Like it should be dope. Like it should be dope that like you
Yeah, it
know
was, like,
this
anticlimactic.
orc like super troop that has been fucking everybody up. He just flies in and is like, "Let's duel, man!" Just murders him in seconds.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
That sucked.
yeah, this isn't cool. This is fuck
But really,
you,
there
man.
was no way out. Like, if they had had an epic fight, by that point, I was sick of epic fights.
Yeah,
so
but
that wouldn't have worked. I don't
even
know
if
what
it-
they could have done.
Even if it was fast, even if it took 1 second, like
Just do it better.
he's all deadpan and it's like, "You've taken everything from me." Like he's brooding the whole time.
Yeah.
And he's like mad at the girl for like killing the king, you know, because the king told her.
She
to.
made her choice.
Yeah. And
He's like, I don't think so. He's like, I don't know.
it's just like fucking grow up. You
Yeah,
know what I
exactly.
mean? It's just like fucking like you're the
Like, shut the fuck
you're
up.
this like super warrior guy. Like fucking grow up. You know?
I did kind of like how the old orc, like the evil wizard orc, how he
Mm-hmm.
gets in a fight and how he just rips off his shirt and he's like super jacked.
Like
That was
it's
kind
like
of
he
cool.
gets like
actually.
tall, right?
That was
Yeah.
cool. He was like, all right, fuck this.
He's in
I'm
all the World of Warcraft stuff
Yeah.
too.
I thought that was kind of cool actually.
Yeah.
But that's it. Other than that, it was a remarkably shitty movie.
On a scale of 1 to 10 tech yas, what would you give this movie?
Well, I did like the whoa. So I don't know, maybe a 3 because I genuinely do think the language thing was cool. I'd never seen it before, so that gives it a couple points.
Yeah, I'd say for nostalgia, if they had more Hearthstone sounds, it would have been more like if they had the leper gnome,
Or if it had just gone.
Did you play a lot of
Hearthstone?
Okay, I love the little gnome that's like, "Give me a big hug," like that guy. I love him.
What if they just dropped in Hearthstone
If
sound
they-
effects at random
If it
times?
was 2 hours of Hearthstone sound effects, I would have
That
given
would've
it
been
a higher
pretty funny.
score than
Yeah.
that I will give it. I don't want to say the same score as you, so I'll give it a 2.
Okay, wow.
But I would probably say it's like a 3. Sometimes it's kind of visually interesting.
Yeah, I think sometimes it
Um,
was, but even then, so often it wasn't. When
So,
it should
yeah.
have been. It was weird.
So often things that we can do well in films,
Yeah.
even like 2016 is not that long ago. There's
Yeah,
been
it
a
was
lot of
3 years
beautiful
ago.
movies, a lot of
There was a lot of beautiful movies before that too.
Yeah, a lot of beautiful CG renders long before this movie came
Yeah.
out, and to have some of these renders look so bad.
I mean,
like-
and the other crazy thing is World of Warcraft has incredible
Yeah.
cinematics, which
Beautiful,
almost makes it worse
beautiful, well written.
because you could see how
yeah.
cool these cinematics could be, and this is like the opposite of that.
Yeah, it was really hard to watch.
Yeah, I did almost give up, but I stuck through to the end.
It was a real struggle. I'd say never. I've rarely felt so pained trying to get to the end of a movie
Yeah,
as
it
I
was
did
bad.
watching this movie.
It was a bad movie.
Yeah, it's super bad. So have you guys seen the Warcraft movie? If you have, let us know. Leave a comment.
If you
let us know
haven't-
if you loved it and you think we're jerky assholes.
And if why, I'd be genuinely curious to hear why. Because I did see some people saying like, "Look, man, I like WoW, I like Warcraft. They did a lot of it was lore on screen. That's all I needed." I was like, "Fair enough." But,
I mean, but that's
they
like- it's
also
not
could
even-
have done it well.
It's not even WoW related. Like that's the thing. Like it's so detached. Like when I hadn't seen the movie, so I was like, oh, this is gonna be like some WoW like
Yeah, like you're gonna see
fanfic. You know what I mean? Or or at least like fan service.
or like you'll
right?
see Arthas walk by in the background.
Yeah, or
like
you-
getting
or,
an ice cream cone.
or it'll be about Arthas.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Right, becoming the
That's
Lich
kinda
King.
what I was
or
hoping for
becoming
when it started.
or it'll be it'll be about any of these things, right?
Because there's a lot of lore.
There's so much lore, and instead it's this very detached, very old story
Yeah.
that they made much more complicated than it needed to be. Like
Yeah.
if it was a clear, concise, the orcs try to invade. They have a dark power, and one of the orcs doesn't want to do that, and they just kind of cleaned it up.
Yeah.
I would have been like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But they tried to make
it
so,
animated.
They tried to have so many layers on it.
Yeah.
And it just made it confusing and hard to get through.
I think they're also really clearly trying to set it up for sequels, which
Yes.
is the worst mistake
The ending
you can
is
make.
the ending is
And
clearly
that's probably why they said it early, because
Yeah.
they're like, by the 5th one we can get to Arthas. Like,
Yeah.
like Resident Evil did basically.
yeah. So my review is fuck the Warcraft movie.
Yeah, it sucks.
So let us know if you like this feature. What movies you'd like to see in the future.
Yeah.
I
I think whether people like it or not, we're gonna keep doing it.
think we should do another one next week.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, we'll pick a movie.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So if you like it, let us know. If you don't, let us know. But fuck you. And
And you're wrong.
And you're wrong. And we love you guys. Go play some games and go watch some game movies.
Yeah, but not that one.
Not that one.